You're dead before you even finish dialing. Yeah, you're just waiting. Off with your head. You're
Hold
done.
on, one more.
Yeah. Please don't kill me until after this thing goes all the way back around. Hey, Maniacs.
Hey, Maniacs.
Brokenwood Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All the holidays.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Any excuse to take a break. Wow.
Yes.
I'm so done.
Mystery Maniacs is a comedy recap podcast dedicated to British, or in this case, New Zealand, mystery TV. Every week we dig into an episode of the show, including the murders, the mayhem, the loonies, and everything else we love. This week we have The Brokenwood Mysteries, Season 3, Episode 4, A Merry Bloody Christmas.
Which won the listener poll by like 15%.
Yeah.
Like
you guys really wanted us to do some Brokenwood, so we did.
And I think this one's a good choice. If you've never seen Brokenwood before, you're fine with this. You can watch this.
But you should watch them all.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're not going to be confused. You're going to know what's going on.
Yep.
You can follow it for sure.
I'm Mock.
Is that your New Zealand accent?
That's as far as I'm going.
Wow. I don't think you should have even gone that far. I'm Sarah.
Just as a warning, this is a spoiler podcast, and if your kids still believe in Santa Claus, it's probably not for them.
They can't handle this. It's not going to be good for them.
No.
Guess what? Santas die. Not just one.
The clauses get claused.
Yeah. Before we dive in, if you haven't noticed, if you're not following along, BritBox has a new contest for Father Brown where you can enter to go and be a victim.
Yes.
On a future Father Brown episode.
Is the one-way ticket sweepstakes.
That's fun.
Yep, it's fun. You get a 7-day round trip for 2 to London. You can visit a BritBox set. It doesn't say which one, but they're pushing Father Brown. And you get to be the understudy to an on-screen dead body.
The understudy to a dead body?
Now,
wait a minute.
We're telling you this. If you make it on screen and you win this contest, you will be Dead Body of the Week.
Absolutely.
When we cover this episode.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. If you move around, I don't care.
If you sit up, you're still Best Corpse of the Week.
You're still Best Corpse of the Week. Second, we're not going to...
So one of our listeners should win. You
Yes.
should all enter that contest.
Yes, you should all enter.
We'll put a link to information about it in the show notes. We won't enter because if we just happened by a fluke to win, everybody would think it was a setup.
Yeah, I'm not interested in winning that. Plus,
I would love to win it.
I want to be podcasters on the show and get killed.
I would love to get what the winners get. Don't get me wrong, but... it would be awesome if somebody who listened to Mystery Maniacs won it.
Oh my gosh. If we were on a set, we would ask so many questions.
We would be annoying.
We would be those people. Now wait a minute.
Why are you doing that?
What is that newspaper from? Who made that?
Yeah. Where's Mark? Oh, he's been talking to the set dressers for 7 hours. He's making them crazy.
Yes.
Also, another little announcement. The holiday song is coming later this week.
Yes. So we have this episode dropping on Monday, the 19th. The second mini for Midsummer Season 23 will be on the 20th.
That's Tuesday.
And then sometime next week
Stay
before
tuned
Christmas,
for the
holiday song will be there.
It's taking us a little bit longer than we thought it would.
Because there are a billion lyrics.
Because so many people stepped up.
You guys are so awesome.
Yeah, not just lots of lyrics, but lots of really fun ones. So we're weaving them all together to do a great big mega song.
Usually we do like a 1-minute song at most, but there's going to be a 1 minute of people's names on the screen.
Yes. So thank you to everybody who sent us such awesome lyrics. It's clear that you had fun doing it too.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna have fun sharing them.
But today, episode 149, that means, if you haven't figured this out yet, when we return in January with full episodes,
it'll be 150.
150.
Shebang.
Shabango.
Yeah.
This episode was originally aired in November of 2016, which makes it perfect. Directed by Murray Keane and written by Tim Blaine. They're kind of the people behind the show.
And the Garometer.
Yes. Turn on the Garometer.
I'm going to call it Dagger Plus.
Yeah, it's a little bloodier than Poirot's Christmas episode, but the same sort of method.
But it's not quite like Machete.
No.
Nobody's getting dismembered or anything. It's straight razor, right?
Yes.
So a little bit worse than a dagger, but not quite like machine gun or anything.
So before we begin, let's just do a quick 2-minute series overview. The main character of this show
is Mike Shepard.
Mike Shepard, he's a detective inspector.
He starts the show coming to Brokenwood from a larger place, right? So he's there to fill in, to solve, of course, one case,
but never
and
leaves.
Stays, right? Yeah. Kristen Sims and Sam Breen are the existing detective sergeant, detective constable who are already in Brokenwood.
Yes.
So they're the locals.
Yes.
Who Mike works with.
His neighbor is Jared. Now, you don't see a lot of Jared in this episode, but they seem super concerned with him. It's because he's a bigger player in a lot more other episodes.
Yeah. He's his neighbor. They make wine together. Jared's kind of his local knowledge guy. Yeah. Definitely the Mayoral culture. Jared is his insider for that. And then there's Mrs. Marlowe, who is the town know-it-all.
And then Gina.
She's all over the place. And Gina, the coroner, who I love. She's fantastic.
Now, a bunch of other people in this episode show up in other episodes, but they're not as regular as those people.
Yeah. I think the only semi-regular character who's not in this one is Frodo.
Yes, there's no Frodo, but he is...
And we're not joking. It's not like he's from Lord of the Rings. He's a guy whose nickname is Frodo.
They call him Frodo.
Yeah, and he's everywhere.
But he's in all the seasons.
Yeah.
And I actually like Frodo. I think he's a good actor.
I do too. Yeah. I do too. So... You know, it's not a village per se. It's a town. It's a smaller town. New Zealand. Do we know where in New Zealand it is approximately where we're supposed to think it is?
Because I screwed up on the South African geography so much, I'm a little better here on the geography here. But there's a little weirdness that happens. So this is supposed to be on the North Island where Wellington and Auckland is. So Wellington and Auckland are the two biggest cities on the North Island. But this takes place in the outskirts of Auckland.
Okay.
Like, it's not the back of beyond, but it's like they can drive to the city pretty quickly. But they're also like not downtown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't get the sense from the whole series that they're a town that's on the way to anywhere.
No.
So
they're not like between Wellington and Auckland.
Right. You have to want to go to Brokenwood to go to Brokenwood.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's set in New Zealand, which I just don't have a whole lot of knowledge about. It's like when we're watching Miss Fisher, because it's in the Southern Hemisphere, Christmas episodes are always weird because it's the middle of summer there in December.
It's 70s right now in Auckland.
Yeah. It's the height of their warmest season. So it's just strange to think of, even if you don't live somewhere that gets particularly snowy in the wintertime, in the Northern Hemisphere, we expect it to be chillier at Christmas.
Yes.
But there it's the opposite.
And Kristen does a great job of kind of bringing that in.
Yeah, to kind of remind us that they're in New Zealand and that's why it's so hot.
They're well aware that most of their viewership is not in New Zealand.
There's a couple of things I didn't know about New Zealand.
First of all, how far is New Zealand from us?
It's on the opposite side of the planet.
Yep. So what do you think?
Just a guess. I don't know.
8,291 miles from Bloomington.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a long flight.
That's if we flew direct from Bloomington.
Yeah, a direct flight from our backyard to there.
Yep.
I knew that New Zealand had a lot of sheep. I didn't know it was a ratio of about 5 to 1. 5 sheep for every one
There's
human.
There's a lot of sheep there. And it is a beautiful place. It has beaches. It has majestic mountains. Like they look like the Rockies. They have fjords on the South Island. It's just a beautiful place.
They got a little bit of everything geography-wise, except they're in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
I didn't know that New Zealand was the first place to grant women the right to vote.
Oh, that's fantastic. They have a
1893.
female prime minister right now. So.
And the other thing that I learned about New Zealand that I found really interesting is that there is only one native land mammal to New Zealand. Everything else was brought to the island in some way by either ancient people or more modern people. There's only one native land mammal. Do you want to guess what it is?
Well, it'd have to be something small because it probably survived the extinctions that happened with the dinosaurs and stuff like that, maybe. I don't know. Maybe a rat?
It's a bat.
A bat! I was close.
There are native bats in New Zealand.
I would imagine there's tons of caves in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So this is a light show like Midsummer. It's definitely Midsummer New Zealand.
Yes. There's a lot of little jokes, you can tell.
Yep.
And so I think you looked into this. So in the beginning of the episode, it starts out with a Christmas parade.
Yes, so Santa Claus parade for the people in the UK, this is a thing that we do in the colonies. And it is a really big thing. Like Bloomington has a Santa Claus parade. My hometown has a Santa Claus parade. Like it is a thing that little towns do.
You'd think the colder it is, the less likely it would be that they would do it, but they do it.
It's a huge thing in Carlton Place.
There's clearly a real parade going on here, and the production team has joined that real parade.
I know exactly where this parade is.
I thought you would. So what is it?
This parade is on, it's in Hawapai. It's outside of Auckland on 330 State Highway. So it's a highway that runs
through a little town.
Outside, it goes northwest out of Auckland.
Okay.
And how I know that is because of the Pink Spot Dairy.
Do you know what a dairy is in New Zealand?
Oh, it's much more complicated than it is here.
It's a corner shop.
Yeah, it's like
that's what they call a corner shop. Yeah, a dairy.
So that Pink Spot Dairy, there's only one in all of New Zealand.
So you found it.
I found it.
Good for you.
I absolutely found like that whole area where they're taking shots of the police car and Breen dressed as an elf, and Mike driving the police car. Now that's not a normal police car.
No, that's his personal vehicle.
Yes,
but he drives nothing but that.
1971 Holden Kingswood.
I love old cars, and I don't know why he likes that car so much. I think it's almost too new, though it's 50 years old. It's almost too new for me to like it.
Yep.
My first car was in 1965. Plymouth Fury 2 was beautiful.
Yep.
I still wish I had that car, though I couldn't afford to drive it now. Gas was, oh man, it got like 3 miles to the gallon. But that car is kind of part of that and listening to country music.
Yeah,
that's
he's
Mike.
kind of nostalgic.
It's who he is.
With his.
And he's been married an unknown number of times.
He has.
Seems to have pretty good relationships with most of his exes, though at least one of them, I think, has passed away.
Yeah.
But he keeps his personal life very close to the vest. It's like an ongoing joke.
Yep.
That they don't know much about him. There's another episode where Kristen is trying really hard to figure out how old he is.
Yep. And they're trying to figure out what birthday he has.
Yeah, and he won't tell him anything.
Yeah.
So there's the shot of Breen, of Sam, tossing candy to the kids in the parade.
Now,
I was like, okay, that's not like a production shot. That's like news footage kind of shot. You know, the camera work is really different. I was like, okay, that's a real parade.
Now it's a real parade, but all the promo shots for this episode that BritBox, that Acorn put out are all of them in the car with the decorations and Breen as an elf. So I have a bunch of pictures that I'm going to use that has that. And I got a close up of the Brokenwood police crest. Did you see what was on it?
No.
Okay, so on the door is the Brokenwood police crest. It has stars and kiwi birds.
That's a requirement, isn't it?
I think so.
It has to have a kiwi if it's in New Zealand.
I looked. It was super cool. I thought they were kiwis, but then I confirmed when I saw the higher res pictures.
So which do you think came first, the fruit or the bird?
Oh, the bird.
No.
Oh, really?
And where do you think the fruit is from?
Australia.
China.
That's weird.
So kiwi fruit are from China, and kiwi birds look similar enough to the fruit that people called them kiwis.
And they call people
from New Zealand kiwis,
which is a Chinese word
for a fruit, but they have a bird that looks like one.
Okay.
There you go. Now you know.
There's one more thing that's more confusing than that.
What?
Why is the Red Baron in this parade?
This is everything goes in plus Santa parade.
Yeah.
There are cows and elves and Santas and
Red Barons
and a girl in a car in a pretty dress.
Yep.
And like anybody who wants to be in the parade, let's do it.
Yep.
Everybody in. It goes so far as to have a float wrangler.
Yes.
Just to organize it.
Yeah. They do that sort of typical colony thing that happens in different towns I've been to, where at the fairgrounds where you have the fall fair, you also store your floats for the Santa Claus parade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the rink. Some people store them at the rink.
Now, have you ever been in a parade?
I have never actually been in a parade.
Have you ever helped build a float?
Nope.
I have done both.
I know.
Many times. Because I was my class president in high school.
Sarah was very popular in school.
I don't know why.
I was not.
So as class president, it was my job to design the float and organize a crew of people to help build it. And we built a new one every year because we had to make a float to compete in the parade.
Absolutely fantastic.
So my high school mascot was a hornet, and our nemesis school, which we always played against in the homecoming, were the Speedway spark plugs.
Oh.
So we had to make a float that showed hornets fighting
spark
plugs. Because Speedway is where the Indy 500 is, right? So, I mean, I guess they could have been like the tires or something. It could have been worse. But I have to tell you.
That's only in America. Right
making a fighting spark plug that didn't look like something else that was offensive in some way, and there was a whole range of things that could look like accidentally, was always a challenge.
No,
it was a challenge.
I can see that.
But we managed to do it. It was a lot of chicken wire and tissue paper.
Speaking of the most evil person in this episode.
Yeah. You want to just get it out of the way?
Yep.
Haley's really bad.
She is horrific. And who is she playing for here?
What do you mean?
When she comes in the house and pretends to find the dead body, she has to be not actually doing that.
She's doing it for the voicemail.
She's doing it for the
fact that she is acting that way as well, visually acting that way, is for the TV show.
Yes.
It's for the flashback.
Yes.
Because she should just be walking around going, Dad, oh no, are you asleep? Ah!
She's a bit better.
See, if she did that, it'd give her away, right?
And we'll get to why she kills everybody in this Santa slaughterhouse here.
What has she got against Santa? Jeez.
Wow. There's a lot of... I went back and double-checked. There is the body in the chimney when she drives up.
Yes.
Yep.
It's
I
there.
Double-checked.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love how we see Gina for the first time when Mike and Kristen come to the crime scene.
Yes.
And Gina's like, Mike, you looked very handsome in the parade. I can't do a Russian accent, but that's what she said. Because you have to know, if you've never seen Brokenwood, Gina is infatuated with Mike. But in a very funny way.
It almost crosses the line, but it doesn't actually cross.
Yeah, it never does. It's always in kind of a funny way. And he's very classy about it.
But if Mike was like, okay, let's go, Gina, she would be like, get up.
Yeah.
Like, no problem.
First we drink vodka, then we make the love.
Yeah.
Me and you and Mike.
Yes.
Like at the drop of a hat.
And she also suggests that he should be Santa in the future.
Yeah. I don't know why she wants him to do that, but maybe she's got a thing about Santa costumes.
So the person who is dead in the Santa costume, because we don't know about the other dead person yet.
Right. Is the mayor.
Is the mayor.
Evan Whitestone.
Yeah.
His throat's been cut in the Santa costume 90 minutes after the parade.
And so if he was in the parade, which he wasn't actually, but we'll get there. He's only been dead 90 minutes. Wouldn't they know right away that it was longer than that? Like the blood would be a different color.
Yeah. Even if it's all in his fake beard, I would think rigor and all kinds of stuff, because he's actually been dead like 12 to 18 hours, and that's a big difference.
That's a big difference. SSG and ESR are requested.
Yeah, Mike gets all serious about the crime scene.
Specialist Search Group and the Environmental Science and Research Group.
So that's different than SACO.
It's basically SACO. It's a Crown Research Institute, the sole provider of forensic sciences services for the police.
Okay.
They have laboratories in Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch. For these laboratories, they're on call 24 hours a day.
So they need crime scene.
Yeah.
Inside and outside.
Yep.
Is what he's saying.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of an obvious thing, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like this could be an accident.
No. So then Mike talks to the dead body because that's what he does.
He always does.
And I
in a
actually
very
love
sympathetic way.
That part of his character.
And it's not anything supernatural. He's in homicide because he has sympathy for victims, and he's really determined to get justice for people.
It's part of his process.
Yes.
Is to place himself in contact with the victim.
Yes. Initially in the series, they kind of make fun of him for it, and they kind of are weirded out by it.
Yeah.
But by this point in the series, like, Kristen is like, she knows he's going to do it.
So they talked to Haley, the daughter, who was actually the killer, but we don't know that. And she was at the family batch.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
It's a summer house.
It's a summer house. Yeah.
Oh, don't forget there's a pie.
Did you notice Breen has the Socko booties over his elf booties?
Yes. I love that he shows up in his elf costume.
Yes. So there is a pie on the floor.
Yeah.
And this begins the biggest debate of the episode.
Yes.
Which is...
What is the king of pies?
What is the king of pies and is between?
There's mince and cheese, steak and cheese, steak and onion. I mean, really, all kinds of stuff can go in a pie, in a hand pie, but it's steak and cheese.
Now, Sarah, have you had one of these pies?
Not from New Zealand.
Not from New Zealand.
I've had a Michigan hand pie.
Yes.
Which is the same kind of construction, sort of pastry with meat and stuff in it.
So I called and contacted a number of pie shops in New Zealand.
Okay.
No one sent pies internationally. This guy named Patrick at Patrick's Pies, the Gold Star Bakery, worked really hard to try to help me find somebody who would sell me.
Send us like frozen New Zealand pies?
Yes. He worked very hard.
Man, you've been looking for frozen food shipped all week.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to send my sister pizza from Indy that she loves, and she doesn't live in Indianapolis anymore.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get her that pizza that she loves so much, and they wouldn't do it.
But I was not deterred.
Oh, no?
No. You
kept trying?
In Alexandria, Virginia, the Kiwi Cuisine Pie Company.
Oh, that's going to be a lot better than a pie that comes literally from New Zealand.
So I ordered us.
But not in time for us to try them today.
No, unfortunately, they're a little backed up. I called them to see when our order would be shipped, but it has not shipped yet. So I have ordered us the gift of pies, as they call it. I've ordered a dozen pies.
Oh my gosh.
For us. Okay.
That's a lot of pies.
So I ordered 4 of 3 types.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to order sausage. By the way, the people who run this place are from New Zealand.
Of course they are.
So they have sausage rolls and everything.
Yeah.
But okay. So I ordered a mince beef and cheese.
Okay.
So I ordered 4 of those. So that's
like hamburger and cheddar, right?
It is all natural ground beef, rich gravy seasoned with Vegemite.
Oh.
Creamy white cheddar, all tucked in flaky pastry.
I don't know about Vegemite gravy.
And I ordered steak and cheese, all natural sirloin beef chunks, slow roasted for 24 hours, surrounded in rich gravy with white cheddar and mozzarella.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those. And then on the crazy spectrum, I also ordered buttered chicken. 4 buttered chicken ones.
That sounds good.
Onion, peas, carrots, and spicy, creamy tomato chicken.
I like buttered chicken.
I do too. I think we are going to enjoy these pies.
Are you and I going to eat all of them?
Oh, I hope
While
not.
the kids are away?
They're kind of gigantic.
Oh, okay.
So
we may have to do a little video, little Instagram reel of us eating the pies.
I think we might. I kept sitting on this all week that I had been looking for pies and wanted to surprise you with pies. I couldn't get them here in time.
I look forward to it.
But we will be soon doing a pie review. The people on the phone were super nice. Everybody was super nice. I wish that the guy in New Zealand was like, I wish we could try to get you some. We love Brokenwood.
Yeah. Oh, you told him we were doing a podcast?
Yep.
That's why we wanted the pies?
Yep.
They're like, well, will you mention the name of our store?
So I will put both Patrick's Pies, Gold Star Bakery, and Kiwi Cuisine in the show notes for you to purchase them if you wish.
Rock and roll. I'm looking forward to this.
I know.
That's going to be
pies.
fun.
That's going to be super good.
Yeah. See, I don't know about your enthusiasm because listeners don't know, but you hate pie.
I dislike crust quite a bit.
Like you won't eat like apple pie.
No, it's
You
gross.
won't go anywhere close to it.
No, but I wanted to be a good sport here and get some pies
I think
for
when
us.
it's meaty, you might like it better.
Maybe. Isn't that amazing? I thought you would be
Oh
like,
my gosh,
oh my
I'm
goodness.
super stoked.
Okay.
I'm super stoked.
Unlike Roxy. Who's Roxy? Roxy is Breen's girlfriend,
Oh.
and she's gone veggie.
Do we ever meet her?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
And he's not always talking bad about her, by the way.
No.
He really loves her.
He does love her.
But she seems to get a lot of crazy ideas sometimes. Like she decides to redecorate their living room, or she decides to be a vegetarian, or
I think they get married and they move away. And that's how
he leaves the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later in like season 4 or something.
Yep. And then there's the Insanta side.
Oh my gosh. Now, he's not actually Santa. He was just a man in a suit.
It's a man in a Santa suit.
So it's man in a Santa suit-aside. Not Santa's side.
And now we have the name of the episode.
They make this big deal out of Mike going, no, it's just a man in a Santa suit. It's not Santa.
And that is a really good piece of writing because you're like, does Mike believe in Santa? And you're like a little weirded out.
Why is he making such a big deal out of it?
But
and he makes a point of it every time.
And then he explains that he's doing it for his nephew.
Yeah.
Who has Down
Downs
syndrome and has trouble with Santa and doesn't want to know that Santa's ever been killed or anything. And I think that shows so much of Mike's character.
It makes his nephew very happy to know that Santa is real. And so there's no reason to say that he's not.
Yeah. And even though his nephew isn't part of the episode, we never see his nephew, we never see his sister or anything like that. It shows character that he still does it even when he's not with his nephew.
Well, you wouldn't want to slip.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what the emergency number is in New Zealand?
111.
That makes so much sense.
So much more sense.
911 in the U.S.
Yep.
Man, in the age of rotary phones.
I don't know. I'm sorry, listeners. I'm not up on the phone system of New Zealand.
But they had to have had rotary phones at one point, just like everybody else did.
That's why New York's area code is 212 because it's easier to dial.
Yeah, but in the UK, it's 999.
Yeah, 999. Well, that came after touchdown.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because in the age of rotary, you're dead before you even finish dialing. Yeah, you just wait. Off with your head. You're
Hold
done.
on, one more.
Yeah. Please don't kill me until after this thing goes all the way back around. It just would take so long.
Yeah.
It's been 911 in the U.S. for a long time, though.
Yes, it has, but since before touchdown. But then I think England's only been
999 since after touchdown.
Since the 90s and touchdown.
Because that's cruel.
Yeah.
If not.
Okay, in the cop shop, we are updated on what possibly a motive for all this is, which is there's a new mayoral election.
Yeah.
And
elections in Brokenwood are always interesting.
yes.
Whatever they are.
So
I love that Kristen has like the mayoral candidate cheat sheet.
She
that
does.
has all 4 candidates on one page.
Yeah.
It's like a mugshots of mayors.
Yes. So there's Neil Bloom, who is the pharmacist.
Chemist. Sam says chemist and Kristen says pharmacist.
Yeah, there's no difference.
I know. I think it's a British thing to call them chemists. And in some ways, New Zealand is like, no. We're New Zealand.
Yes.
We're not British.
Yes. Victoria Spiegelman, who is awesome, who just eats up all the scenery.
She is a nut job,
she's
though.
a nutcase. It's fantastic. I love how crazy
I'll be right back. The prune juice is kicking in. Okay.
She comes back and she's doing up her pants.
Oversharing. Wait, yeah, she's talking about transparency. It's a little too much.
Yep.
Held my grandfather's intestines together.
Yep. Jed Chalmers, the local hipster.
He's a hipster barber. What do you think about his beard?
I like his beard.
It's fake.
Yeah.
It's not a real beard.
Yeah.
But it's a really good fake beard.
It's a good fake beard. But
He has good hair.
he does.
And good vest and suspender combo.
Yep. Yep. He does.
Good
and
Jed.
Then
And glasses. Hey.
crazy. Yes.
Then there's Pete.
Crazy Pete.
Crazy Pete. Crazy Pete's Mighty Meats. And land development fracking scheme.
I love, this is why I say it's Midsummer in New Zealand, because all these minor characters are have unique things that don't make them like caricatures, but kind of caricatures.
Yeah. You would say, they're local characters.
Yeah.
So Neil, the pharmacist, is the only one who is a semi-recurring character.
Yes.
He's the gay pharmacist.
Well, he becomes mayor.
And he becomes mayor, and his partner is the reverend of the church.
Yep.
And so later we know they're a couple, and together they're kind of characters in the village or the town or whatever. I love that he hands flowers out because his last name is Bloom.
Yep.
But
he says, my family has different kinds of parades,
Yeah.
meaning pride parades.
Yeah.
But there's a pride parade episode later, I think.
Later, after he's been mayor,
Yeah.
the town's ready for it. But now he thinks they're not ready for it. They do such a good job showing you just how crazy Pete is. When we get to see his office with all of the stuff from his past marketing campaigns, including
no Romans in New Zealand.
ever, including the full-size cardboard cutout of him wearing Roman gear and just so many stupid ideas for sales. Well, there's the Santa Meat Massacre.
Yeah.
Why would that make anybody want to buy? I don't know.
He kind of looks at it and goes, well, maybe that's not a good one.
Yeah, and that doesn't have anything to do with this.
Yeah.
Hey, how did the butcher introduce his wife?
Well, I don't know. How did the butcher introduce his wife?
Meat Patty.
Wow. Wow. Dad called. He wants his jokes back.
That is a joke my dad told me. And then there's Maureen Moffat, who is Evan's campaign manager.
Yes.
And sidekick and like city council, whatever, lady who helps stuff. And we can't find her. We don't know where she is because she's in the chimney.
Yes.
I gotta say, upside down in a chimney for 3 days?
Yeah, she's not going to look good.
It's not good.
No.
Not good at all.
No.
It reminds me of Gremlins.
Yeah, it does. This is a Christmas episode.
Most people forget that.
Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
Well, they don't forget that, but they forget the horrible story about the dad who goes down the chimney and dies in the chimney.
You want to hear a silent theater? Go see Gremlins when it comes out in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because we were expecting puppets and mayhem and chaos
and then all of a
cuteness
sudden Phoebe Cates is like, yeah, my dad died trying to surprise us on Christmas.
Oh.
You're like, slammed into a wall.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Anywho.
I remember that moment in the theater.
Oh, I bet. I love that Mrs. Marlowe says, oh, I heard the mayor was found naked and bound in his mayoral chains.
Yes.
No, you just made that up. To see if that was true.
Yes.
So that Mike would say, no.
So like many colonies, they wear mayoral chains in New Zealand. I double checked.
Not here.
No, they don't here.
U.S. mayors don't have those big old bling.
You were going to say stupid chains.
No.
They're awesome.
They're big gold bling.
They're awesome.
None that I know of.
Haley says a weird thing here that she was in Smith's Bay. Mm-hmm. But the only Smith's Bay I could find is south of them, but she says it's north of them.
I'm sure they made that
Yeah.
up. It's just a generic thing. She says she was off finishing her first novel.
Yeah, so she was supposedly writing a book for Mills and Boon. Do you know who Mills and
They're a
Boon?
romance publisher.
Oh boy, I went through their entire website.
They're a big romance publisher.
They are a big romance publisher, and they have a number of interesting, strange lines of books for a British publisher. They have a whole cowboy one. I want to read any British written novel.
You have to
set in
remember,
cowboy
my
time.
first master's degree, my thesis was about romance novels. I know way too much about them.
So Sims says you can make a pretty penny doing that. How much can you make?
I don't think individually they make a lot of money. I think they're prolific writers.
They are.
So you make more money because my former mother-in-law loves romance novels, and she used to go buy them by the paper sack at the used bookstore. Like, it's volume, not quality.
Yep. So you can they say on their website, the Mills and Boon website, you can make anywhere from $2,000 to $30,000 per book. I'm sure there's a tier system and all that stuff.
But it is one of the genres that has survived on paper.
Yes.
People don't want to read Kindle romance novels
Well,
because the book covers are so important.
but the Mills and Boon book covers, I didn't like them at all.
They aren't.
No,
They're not Fabio in the breeze with a kilt on.
No.
Okay. Greasy pecs.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's a whole area of study right there.
Yep.
So Maureen's in the chimney.
Yep.
She's got a head injury.
Yes.
She was drunk and she had smoke inhalation.
Yes.
Why would she have thought that she needed to go on the roof to open the flue?
Because he suggests it. Because he says, I forgot the Santa. And
Oh, so it's not the flue that's the problem. It's the fact that there's Santa in the chimney.
he says, I'll go do it. And
Right.
Haley goes,
No, you're too drunk.
You're too drunk.
And it was her idea to light a fire anyway, because
Yes.
she knew they would have to go up there. Because I was like, you open the flue from inside the fireplace. Now, granted, when there's a fire burning, that's kind of difficult to do.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, you don't open the flue from the roof. That
No.
would be really, really hard to do.
No, but she's crazy.
What does she do with the legs? Because if they found the legs in the yard, but there were legs in the chimney, I think somebody would have got suspicious.
They threw it they throw them in the backyard. And I guess the uniform guys just were like,
or Haley hid them.
Haley
and
hid them or something.
We just don't see it.
Something.
I love it. Gina's lines are always gems.
Yes.
It's not unusual for Santa Clauses to die in Russia.
They fall like flies.
In the lead up to Christmas, they fall like flies, usually from accidents involving roofs, ice, and too much vodka.
And she's dressed in fancy underwear.
Yeah,
There's the suggestion
Maureen,
that she's a strippogram.
a Santa stripogram.
Yes.
But she's not Santa. She's a woman in a Santa suit who
Yes.
is going to strip.
Yes. She's Mrs. Claus.
She's woman in a Santa suit stripogram aside. Get it straight. Oh, Victoria's house.
We go to Victoria's house.
I love it. It's so great.
Bees for life.
I love the strings.
Yes.
It confuses the cats and the dogs. I hope they fall and break their necks.
But she has a sign about cats attacking birds. She's just all over the place.
No, she hates cats.
Yeah.
She hates cats. She hates dogs.
Yeah. Xmas.
She wants to save snails. She wants to end whaling and the bulrush, which is a plant.
Yeah.
No more mining. Don't frack up our water. Bees for life. Ban Christmas. White stones a whitewash.
Yep.
Save Brokenwood from itself.
Yes.
Man, just imagine how horrible it would be if she actually was elected mayor. She'd be like in the city council going, hold on, I got to go poop. I'll be back.
Yep.
Thanks, Victoria. You're
Thanks.
great.
Thanks, Victor. Though she's right in a lot of
Yes.
things.
Yeah. It's just the way she goes about it. You
Yes.
know, she had a little tact.
So she gives Breen a drink.
The tea,
Yeah.
the kawa ginger, lemon, bitters, and iodine. The arsenic is a joke.
Yeah.
It has too strong of a flavor.
I had prunes for breakfast.
Oh, man.
So Neil was working instead of going to the parade because he wanted his employees to go to the parade.
Oh,
Yeah.
Neil's nice.
He's super nice.
He's genuinely a good guy.
Yes, he is.
He's very helpful in other episodes too.
Yeah, he is.
And poor Jared.
So then we
is
find
missing.
Jared missing, but he's been gashed in his thigh.
He's been hit on the head.
Yeah.
Had booze poured over him. Had his leg cut very close to his femoral artery.
Yep.
I mean, Haley thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
She's hoping he's dead.
She tries to kill him.
And completely ruins the nice elf costume that Mrs. Marlowe made for him.
Exactly.
Jeez, come on. But that's the kind of guy Jared is. He comes to pick up Evan to take him to the parade.
Yes.
Oi.
And this is how they figure out that Santa and Mrs. Claus were dead 12 to 18 hours before.
Well, that and Gina does the postmortem
Yeah.
and says, no, they died a long time ago. I picked up, I hadn't seen this one since it first was released here, and I picked up on the whole Evan dad thing pretty early on because I was incredibly confused.
Yes.
I was like, who's Evan?
Yes.
Because Haley talks about Evan, and like, but that's her dad.
Yes.
Like, why isn't she calling him dad? Oh, yeah, now I remember. He's not her dad, and she's horrible.
So Breen loses the debate here, and the pie is steak and cheese.
Yeah. Jed's whole campaign manager in Croatia and all that is so unnecessary.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
They just need him to be slightly weird. So then we meet Kia and Tina, who are Jared's aunts, who are part of like a really evangelical Christian. Mm-hmm. He's a good Christian boy. Santa Claus was never mentioned in the Bible.
But they love him so much.
Yep.
They're not, I mean, they're very religious and conservative, but they care about him. It's not to a fault or anything like that. It's just who they are.
So Victoria shows up here, and this is a clever piece of writing because she shows up and says she's here to support Fana, but it appears in the subtitles as WHANAU.
What's that?
It is a Maori word for extended family. It's used in everyday New Zealand English as well as official publications, so it's not slang or anything like that. But her using it, because she's not related to Jared in any way.
No, Victoria's not.
Is that kind of coat tailer mentality that I think, like, I'm going to be so supportive of indigenous peoples. I'm going to be like their extended family.
It's too much.
It's a bit
But
white.
Tina seems to like her.
Yeah, Tina seems to like her. So
Crazy Pete's Meat Massacre. Such a bad idea. What is he thinking? Like, it's so stupid. And he wants to call the new housing development Meatville.
Meatville.
I mean, it's so bad.
you get 1,000 meter square plot for $500K.
Is it meters, MEAT? Meters?
I hadn't thought of that.
I mean, really, anywhere you can put a meat pun in, he's going to do it.
Yes, and we have the leopard and cheetah making its first appearance.
And that was a frog and cheetah.
Frog and cheetah, and it's run by...
It's run by Ray Nielsen.
Yes.
His sister shows up later, and she kills somebody. So
I think she's in prison
now.
At this point.
She's already killed somebody.
But she's also fantastic.
Yeah. I just remember when the first time they introduced the frog and cheetah, it was like, oh, it's a cheetah?
Cheetah.
Like, does he break the rules in a game and that makes him a cheetah? The way they say it.
And apparently Evan was drinking Dirty Bastards.
What's a dirty bastard? I know it's got rum in it, but other than that.
No, it has no rum in
Oh.
it. And I'm actually thinking maybe I should make some of these.
Okay. Maybe we should have them with our pies.
Yeah,
Dirty
Bastards
bastards
and
and
pies.
What's in a dirty bastard?
Lime juice, ginger beer, Irish whiskey, and ginger syrup. All those things sound delicious.
Yeah. It sounds like a ginger ale whiskey sour. Yeah.
So we'll
good.
definitely get the fixins for that to make
Dirty bastard and pie.
To have our dirty bastards and pie.
Sounds good. Yeah, old Pete, the meat man, was at a strip club.
Yeah, called Stallions.
And then checked into a hotel where he might not have been alone.
I think that was probably a gay nightclub.
Oh, you think?
Stallions?
Oh, I don't know. I can't judge on that.
I don't know. I did not look up.
Either way, I'm not really surprised that he has trouble finding romantic partners in town.
Yeah. No, his wife is in Sydney. Remember that
that's
yoga
right.
retreat?
That's right. Yeah. I'm not surprised she's gone, with an excuse either.
Yes.
He's not. I don't think he'd be very fun to hang out with. He'd be like, hey, have you talked about meat today? Let's talk some more about meat. Meat. That's meat.
I did not look up gentlemen's clubs in New Zealand.
That's probably a good idea.
Wow.
Speaking of frog and cheetah, he's a cheetah.
Antipode.
Did you get my joke? He's a cheetah?
Yeah, he's a cheetah.
Antipodian?
Yes. Do you know what that word means?
It means Southern Hemisphere, doesn't it?
It's Australia and New Zealand specifically.
Yeah. They're the Antipodes.
I love how Breen is like, why can't we have Jared as the Santa Claus in my photo shoot? And they're like, You
mean Jed?
Yes, Jed. He's Maori.
Blue contacts? Makeup? No, Sam. No. Super white man. No. Sam is super white.
When Sam says that 137 steak and cheese pies were served in Brokenwood that Saturday morning, I was like, I need a pie.
Yes. And 5 of those should be for me. I don't think Haley's romance novel is going to go over well anyway. It's called Bloodletting.
Yes.
It's like, if you think you're being subtle and nobody knows how homicidal you are, you're just not hiding the clues well enough to keep that, like she's over there flicking a straight razor in the corner. Are you murderous? No.
So Jared wakes up in the hospital and then Santa tries to kill him.
And runs like a girl.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
But she does. And not like in a stupid way, not like flailing her arms around. Oh, and she doesn't like have a purse on her arm or anything.
No.
It's not a masculine gait. I think that's okay, but they're smart to let Kristen say it.
Yeah, and Mike figures all this out.
Yeah.
And at first she's like, oh, what are you talking about? I have to get to the funeral. It starts in 5 minutes. You should be at your father's funeral more than 5 minutes before.
I love when they show the reenactment of the crime when Jared shows up and he's like got a face full of pie.
Yeah.
And she turns around and she's half in the Santa suit.
Yeah.
So she just looks pregnant.
Yes.
In red overalls.
And then the poor pie gets flung into the corner.
Ah, the pie.
Yep.
The biggest clue in the whole deal.
Yep. He should have bled to death.
Because I slipped a straight razor under his elf tights and cut him somewhere.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to make sure he was dead, cut his throat. You know how to do that. So did she do that because she wanted to make it look like an accident? Like he just happened to be running around with a straight razor in his pocket?
He's drunk with the straight razor. She didn't really think this out.
But he did. Was it a pocket? I don't think it was a pocket. I think she like slipped it into the leg of his pants, in the leg of his little elf shorts.
It's weird.
Like was he that reckless with his straight razor? Yeah, he's like la la la, making toys for Santa. Oops, I cut my leg. Gonna pass out now. Poor Jared. There's not only is her book called Bloodletting, but her bookshelf is like ways to kill people. Other ways to kill people. My story of killing people. Blood.
Yeah.
Dead. Blood. Dead. Murder. Kill.
Yep.
There should have just been one Fabio romance novel in all of that. Like, my Scottish love, just like in the midst.
Yes, of all that stuff.
Yeah. Romance in the outback. That's Australia.
So she gets taken away. Awkward funeral.
Yeah, there's going to be some talking at the mayor's funeral.
Who's going to, when you have a funeral for a family member, you're kind of in charge of the funeral?
Yeah.
But who's going to run that funeral?
Mrs. Marlowe.
Yeah, she'll step up.
She'll step up and go, so Haley was just arrested and kind of admitted that she did it. So anybody else want to say something?
And here's a sausage roll.
Yes, I brought some sausage rolls and some pies. And poor Maureen.
Yes.
The end.
The end.
Yeah, I don't doubt Mrs. Marlowe will step up.
So Kristen, having spent the whole episode wishing for snow, she just is like, I wish one year we'd have snow on Christmas.
Then you need to move, honey.
And her parents are in the UK. And the reason her parents are in the UK is because they get snowed in.
Yeah, they get stuck. So they end up having a little...
Christmas at the cop shop.
Yeah. That is one anemic-looking chicken.
One anemic-looking bird.
Whatever that bird is, it needs to go back in the oven for a bit.
Yeah.
It needs some color on it.
Yeah, it definitely. But Mike volunteers to work on Christmas, and they all stay with him.
So if you've never watched Brokenwood before, I really think this episode is a really good example of the tone of the show.
Yep.
There's every once in a while they get into some kind of deeper themes, especially about native New Zealanders and things like that. But for the most part, it's pretty darn light, like this episode is.
Well,
so if you like this one, I think you'd like the whole show.
So this is the season that has the Lord of the Rings episode.
Yes.
Which is fantastically crazy and insane.
Yes.
It has the one with the poet who dies and there's a fight over his body. Mm-hmm. There's that one.
The guy who falls, whose parachute doesn't release.
Yes.
At Mike's birthday party.
Yeah, that's in another season.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was the next one.
No. And then the next one is the classic Cars ones.
Yeah, the car show one. I mean, they're all really fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth checking out if you've never seen it before.
But it's really well acted, really well written. They're tight. They're certainly, like, for an hour and a half, it moves along. There's no filler. Mm-hmm. There's no, like, kissy, lovey.
And in general, we get all the clues.
Yeah.
I mean, there's usually something that Mike has figured out that nobody else has, where he kind of goes, aha, and reveals it.
The only thing we don't see is what's on her bookshelf here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's very little that we don't know. I think they make it very fair. In most episodes, it's very fair. You could probably figure it out.
Except for the fact that she's Looney McTooney.
She is far more insane than you could guess that she is.
Yeah, she is crazy.
Super crazy.
And
her motive is money?
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, I think she kind of wants to punish Evan for not helping her mother.
But
her
that
mom
was years ago.
Yeah, but that's kind of been festering, I think.
I guess.
That maybe he should have done more.
It does have an inciting incident. The fact that he calls her and says, I'm going to ask Maureen to marry me.
Yeah.
Is an inciting incident to a crazy person like that.
And they say she's probably been thinking about it for a long time.
Yep.
And that pushes her over the edge. So she's got many, many more reasons to do it than just that one thing.
Yeah.
But that's what makes her do it. And really, for somebody who decides in kind of the spur of the moment to kill two people, she doesn't do a half bad job.
No, she almost gets away with it.
Yeah. If not for Jared and his dang old pie, I would have got away with it if it weren't for Jared and his dang old pie. If Jared didn't come over,
she might have gotten away with it completely.
Yeah. Him and his stupid tights and pie in a bag.
Pie in a bag.
Jared.
We're not putting them in a bag. We'll put them in the oven, but we're not putting them in a bag.
You don't want them in a wax paper bag?
No.
You'd be like those the people on Miss Scarlet who buy their little meat pies in the street and just put them in their pockets. Yep. Without any wrapper or anything. They just put them in their linty pockets.
Well, Victorians.
Get them out, eat a bite, and put it back.
Wax paper or anything.
Like the gravy's all over your pocket. All that Vegemite gravy. All right. So that is season 3, episode 4 of Brokenwood Mysteries, A Very Bloody Christmas.
Yes.
Next up, we have a spoiler-free mini episode for Midsummer Murders, season 23, episode 2.
Before that, we still have Best Corpse to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nice corpse.
Yeah, so let's
edit all that out.
So, Best Corpse. By the way, there's a ton of Mom, I Got a Part. They all come in the room and say super and hand him a piece of paper.
No, senior. Well, and there's the woman who is the victim's advocate who follows Haley around.
Who doesn't say a word.
Doesn't speak for half the episode, just wears her little business suit and stands there quietly, looking compassionate and supportive.
There are a lot of characters in this episode.
Yeah, a lot of people.
We haven't even talked about Mike's boss, who appears for one scene, but he's in a lot of other episodes.
Yeah, you see him more if you watch more of the show. So, best corpse, Evan or Maureen?
I'm going to go Maureen on the gurney. She's doesn't move a stitch.
I'm going to go Evan because not only does he have to sit there with the bloody beard smooshed up against his face and everything, but later when he's on the slab, they've got all the prosthetics on his neck to make it look like his neck is all torn up.
Yeah.
And he's being pretty still.
He's pretty still.
Oh, I completely forgot. My biggest problem with this episode. Okay. And this is a big problem.
Yes.
Is that the whole way she gets away with this is by convincing everybody that Evan was in the parade, right?
Yes.
So Haley dresses as Santa Claus and goes and is in the parade as Evan.
Yes.
She is a good 6 inches shorter than him.
She is a good 6 inches shorter than him and has boobs.
Well, that you can hide with a big fat suit, right?
Maybe.
She's got the big Santa suit, the beard. I mean, she's not like super well endowed and hard. It wouldn't be difficult to hide. She's got a beard and a suit and all that. I don't have a problem with that. She is way shorter than him.
Yep.
And everybody would know
immediately.
And she can't speak.
Yes.
The whole time she's there. And she's the mayor.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not buying it.
No.
I mean, it's a very clever plot.
Yeah.
To have her pretend to be him so it throws everybody off about when he died.
But I don't think she could have done it.
I don't think she could have pulled it off. I think people would have said immediately, that's not Evan.
Like, there were a bunch of little kids. They would be like,
You're
Santa,
a lady.
You're a lady.
I can see that you're a lady.
Yes.
Because your beard is not that good.
Yeah.
Santa's got boobs. He's hiding them, but he's got boobs. Don't say that. Santa's older. Don't body shame Santa. It's not Santa. It's a body shaming person in a Santa suit.
Yes. After the credits, Neil wins the election.
Yes.
And we hear of none of the other candidates again.
No, they're one episode characters.
Yeah.
Which is good because I don't think I could take more of Pete Meat. I can't deal with him.
Okay. What do we got coming up?
So coming up next is a spoiler-free mini episode covering Midsummer Murders, season 23, episode 2.
The Debt of Lies.
I hope that the debt is clearer than the prophecy
Yeah.
of the previous episode.
So once again, spoiler free, we'll give you some tips to watch like a maniac.
Yes.
We dropped that episode on Tuesday of last week, and at least one of our listeners said, oh, great, I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Another person knew exactly what wallpaper we were talking about and said, I saw it in Whitstable Pearl too.
Yeah. I love it. More and more people watch like we do now.
Yes.
We've infected them with our maniacness.
We have it infected. And we got the sweetest note from Jude, who writes for Father Brown and Sister Boniface, because we sent her some merch.
Including a Boniface conspiracy t-shirt.
Which she said was hilarious.
Yeah.
She says that they are super positive on what we're doing.
Good.
In their group.
Awesome.
So that's fantastic.
So we don't have to worry about them coming after us.
No. They think what we're doing is fantastic.
Well, we're fans.
Yes, absolutely.
We're positive.
Yep.
Though I did feel a little bit weird because sometimes we make fun of things and I was like, I wasn't really doing that, knowing that the person who wrote it would be listening.
Yeah,
but you know what?
And we kind of make fun of the writing sometimes.
Sometimes, but you know what? If you can't laugh at yourself,
I think both the
I don't
ladies,
think you could survive that business.
The ladies that we've interviewed both would look at those and go, yeah.
You're right.
Or, okay. Or more likely, that got changed for a reason totally unrelated to
that wasn't
me.
up to me. That's not what I wrote. Or I thought, I had a better idea, but we couldn't do it that way or whatever. Yeah. I don't care. But I think they just have a good sense of humor anyway. I think they're able to laugh at themselves.
Yeah. I find it fascinating that there's these little pockets of BBC around the country.
Yeah.
And they make different shows, and that's super interesting because of it. Sorry,
Definitely.
not BBC, but the people making those. ITV.
Yeah, the production companies. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyhow.
Okay. After that, on the 27th of December, so the day after Boxing Day, we get
We'll do episode 3.
A Grain of Truth. And then the 3rd of January, we get Dress to Kill, which is another mini episode. So 3 mini episodes after this one. No full episodes till the 9th of January.
Yes, this is our last full episode of the year.
We're taking a break.
But you'll get some goodies between now and then, for sure.
A break. Watch Three Pines.
Yeah.
Watch Whitstable Pearl.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes of Whitstable Pearl were super good. And last night's Three Pines were fantastic. Slow Horses has been fantastic.
Yep. All really good stuff.
All super good stuff. And there's so much coming in January. Just to give you some indication of what's coming in January alone, we have... the Death in Paradise Christmas special is going to be on BritBox on the 26th. So if you're into Death in Paradise, that comes on the 26th. And then January
of December.
Yep. January we have Pale Blue Eyes, which is the Christian Bale
Edgar Allan Poe
investigate a serial killer at
West Point.
I'm like, yes. There's everything I love all in one place. The Rig, which is it's not a mystery show, but
it is.
Yeah,
it's kind of paranormal, super sci-fi mystery on an oil
rig.
rig
With Game of Thrones versus Midsummer characters.
Yeah, you take all the actors from Game of Thrones and Midsummer, throw them together on an oil rig in the middle of nowhere with some kind of unknowable force. That's the Rig.
Yep. All Creatures Great and Small Christmas special will be in February here.
That's a little late.
It'll be on and then Lockwood and Co., which you've read the books.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Will be on Netflix on the 27th of January. There's just
I'm super excited about that one.
So much, and we got a bunch of news about other shows coming. There's so much to cover. The one of the things we do is our planning for the year during this time period, and so we're going to take what we've learned from doing Mystery Maniac so far and figure out what we're going to do. I would like us to have a plan for at least 6 months in the future. So Midsummer is January, and then we're going to take some time off in February, but after that, we should figure out what we're going to do. So, thank you very much for listening. If you liked us on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and email. All those good things.
And the subreddit.
Yes.
The Midsummer subreddit.
Yes, which
always
has been
a fun place to talk.
Crazy busy active lately, which is very good. It's
great.
Fantastic. So there's new episodes. So I should put up a new episode thread. So
stay tuned for another mini. And for the holiday song.
Yes.
This week.
That'll be all this week. So have a good, happy holidays, Maniacs.
Be safe, rest, stay healthy.
Yep.
Do what you need to do to start the year off well.
Remember, it's not Santa. It's a man in the Santa suit.
That's right.
Bye, Maniacs.
Bye, Maniacs. Woman in the Santa suit aside.
That house is a slaughterhouse. It's Santa's slaughterhouse.
Santa slaughter, there's blood all over your beard. How weird. There's an outtake for you.
It's kind of like that.